Welcome back to the Sunday Roast for 2025. Coming up on this podcast, the show that we celebrate the winners and roast the losers. Join me as always, Das.
Jeb, we're shitting ourselves. We thought we lost the audio, but we're back, Jeb. The Blues on Thursday night were absolutely cheeks. We are so bad.
The Tigers have already won me over. They are back. I am so on the Tigers. I'm sorry for everything I've said in the offseason.
Hawks are a top four lock, Jeb. That is a lock.
I didn't mind what I saw from the Bombers, Das. I think they're going to be fine.
The Cats going to win the flag again, Jeb. They're just that goddamn good.
How overrated are some players at Fremantle?
It's so bad. Jev, you've lost 3 in a row and 3 in a row to Brisbane. I think it's time to put a line through the Swannies.
The Swans are so psychologically damaged and the Lions just know how to get it done.
Dogs win without Bont, Jev. They were pretty good.
I liked what I saw from North. They just can't defend, but they've got the players there. They just got to defend better.
Port are a useless excuse as an AFL team. They are so bad, Jev. Ken's got to go.
Perfect week for Collingwood after what they dished up last week. It's good to see the kid Nick Dacos back. Can someone protect him?
Jev, Saints are just doing what Saints do. Be average.
I reckon we're going to be wrong about the Crows, Das. I like the look of them.
Jev, the Giants are absolute flag favourites. They're flag favourite. We're all in. Finn Callahan, the local produce, produced again.
How good was seeing Christian Petrarca back? That game live was absolutely awesome.
And Jev, West Coast, they're the worst team in the comp. They're the worst team in the comp.
The Suns are ready, Das. The Suns are ready. They're fit. They're strong. They're fast. They travelled. They won. They are absolutely ready.
Guys, you know where to find us at 100K Sports. Like and subscribe. Apple, Spotify, YouTube, Instagram. Guys, like and subscribe. Help us. Send a prayer. Send it to your mum. Send it to your nan. Send it to your dog. Enjoy the show.
And now, 100K Sports and PointsBet presents the Sunday Roast.
Welcome back to the first official studio every game, 9 games, Sunday Roast of 2025. Powered by PointsBet, powered by Rick's Eyewear. Join me as always, Darcy Ballard, Dobe. How are you, brother?
Jev, let's get straight into it. Let's get absolutely straight into it.
Yes.
So, you know how they do the team of the round, Jev? The best
Yes.
22, best 23 players. If they did a reverse team of the round, the Blues would have 6 players in there. They could almost fit in 22, but I'll name you the 6. McGovern, Haynes, Motlop, Frankie Evans, Lockie Fogarty, and Matt Cottrell. Jev, they're the 6 that are an absolute lock for worst players of the round. Frankie Evans came in for Jagger Smith and was running around thinking he was Mick Jagger. No, Frankie Evans took his form from Port Adelaide back into this side. Jesse Motlop, Jev, I call him the reverse mouse. For anyone that doesn't know, it's because he's allergic to crumbs. He doesn't go near a crumb. He was just running around at the feet. How many possessions do you reckon he had? 30? How many disposals did he have? I think 12. He just holds on to it and fumbles. McGovern shirked it about 3 or 4 times. He got it at the clutch. Give it inside forward 50. We were plus 25 inside forward 50 and just laced up Seth Campbell, I think it was, or Steely Green. It was one of them. One of the Tigers, I had no idea who they were. Nick Haynes, Jev. We say there's a few players that don't look like actual players from their team. Who's one that you have?
Aaron Francis doesn't look like a Swan.
He's not a Swan. Nick Haynes is not a Blue. When he ducked his head for the 15th time, Tom Lynch goes up to him, Jev, gets into him and says, "You're not a Blue, or you're not an AFL player anymore." So that's that. Jev, it's all well and good when you're trying to front run. Blake Acres coming off his man in the first quarter, chopping off one, having a shot at goal. But when you're 41 points up, when you are $1.04 against a side that's not meant to win a game all year, and then everyone starts to sit back and waiting for someone else to go get the footy so then they can get a cheap one out the back and try and make their tape look a little bit better. You are absolutely fucking piss weak. Like, it makes me sick. Paddy Cripps at one stage was on the ground with 3 Tigers on him and not one person went to help him out. Fucking weak as piss, Jev. So I just want to have a look at this. I got personally introduced on the weekend. Sam Laylaw, 2-8. 18. Congratulations. Thank you. Nice to meet you. You're impressive. Then we saw Jack Ross officially, 2-28. Thank you for coming. Luke Traynor had some tricks, Jev. After watching every single game this week, I'll tell you who played better than Carlton. I'll tell you who. Richmond did. Hawthorn did. Essendon did, Geelong, Sydney, Brisbane North, the Bulldogs, Collingwood, Adelaide, Melbourne, GWS, and Gold Coast. That is 13 teams that played better than a side who were hoping to be a top 4. There were $1.04 against what was meant to be a team that not meant to win a fucking game all year, Jeb. It is an absolute joke, piss week. Pay your money, rock up and go watch your team. Front row in Paddy Cripps' jocks. Absolute disgrace. Honestly, I've seen some bad losses, Jeb. That was fucking piss weak. Good on the Tigers. Well done. I was cheering them on by the end. Go.
Great start to the roast of being back to us. For those that don't know, going all the way back to Thursday, the Tigers have beaten the Blues by 13 points. I know we all do know. It was unbelievable being there. I want to just apologise to all Richmond fans, all of Richmond. You and me were harping on like 2.5. I'd take the under. I don't think they're going to win a game. This and that. Never rated their kids. I am sorry to all Tigers fans. I'm sorry to Richmond. I'm all in now. Being there live, watching a bunch of kids come back from 41 points down, not blinking, not turning away from their game plan, not fearing the moment. I was so impressed. And what was more impressive is the way Vlosten and Nathan Broad and Nank and these premiership players just stood up. Even when it was going bad, they were playing well. And every time Vlosten got a kick, he kicked it to Luke Traynor. Or when Luke Traynor would always kick it to Vlosten. Oh, they were so good. And then Sammy Laylor, I don't know if it was his first touch, but that contested mark on the wing where he just floated across the pack. He looked like he had time. He had space. He was smooth. Everything about him. Oh, I am so impressed from the Tigers. I'm all in. They've still got 3 or 4 other kids we haven't even seen yet. They're going to play this year. It still might be a tough year, but they're 1-0. They've already, how much money did they make from that win? Because now Richmond supporters, I want to go back next week. I want to go watch the Tigers the next time they play on the G after watching that. It's not ugly yet. It's not bad yet. They were so impressive. I'm all in on the Tigers. That was so good to watch. To come back from 41 points down, it was so good.
Yeah, so
and the Blues, you go.
Yeah, Jeff. So we have to call them. They're going to be the Grim Reaper Tigers, or we're going to have the Scalp Takers, because that's what they're going to be all year. They're going to have a few games, and if Tom Lynch can play, if Hopper can stay fit, if Taranto can stay fit, that's exactly what they're going to do. And last year we had the name the Cardiac Carlton. Like they were a little bit like you didn't know what you were going to get. We're playing in these tight games. We are the bipolar Blues. That's what we are. We're either a top 4 team in the comp, we look unbelievable, or we're the bottom 4. And at the moment, Jev, just looking how we played, it is absolute piss weak. Like that was so weak. Waiting for these kids, like they weren't the Tiger Cubs. They look like a team of like a team of kids that have played 50 plus games together. Yep. They wanted it and they smelt blood in the water and they're like, we're coming. We're absolutely coming. We thought we were going to get it done.
The review is going to be so harsh. They looked so scared and so petrified at ground. How fumbly were they and kicking off the ground and I don't want it, I'll tap it to you, and you don't want it, tap it to the next guy. And no one wanted to just put their head over it, pick it up and just make it clean. They got fumbly. They were scared. Yeah. Once they closed down Jake Wiedering a bit, none of them knew how to defend. I think Nick Haynes had one of the worst games I've ever seen in person.
Yeah.
I saw a little thing on Twitter of all his lowlights. He had a shocker. When he was dropping them, they were just bouncing through his hands straight into Richmond blokes' hands. Oh, that was bad. So I know the emotion, your emotions have been going up and down, but Hawthorn next week at Thursday night at G, you're just like, I'm not fucking going to that game. Why would the fuck I want to go to that game? But now you're starting to think you do want to go back to that game. Have you forgiven the Blues at all? Are you going to go to the Hawks on Thursday night? Where are you at with the Blues right now?
I'm going and we're going to roll them. We're going to roll them, Jeff. Jeff, I'm all in on us this week for an upset. The Hawks have had 2 big games. We're going to absolutely roll them. But I've got a few more things. Camden McIntosh, Jeff, thoughts on the headband? Look like Bobby Lashley. And also, Brody Kemp, if you're going to wear the purple mercurials, please, brother, put them through the big sticks and hit a few packs, son. Put your knee up, son. Put it into someone's nose, into their neck, into something, son. Oh, the mercurials, Jeff. If you're going to wear the purples, make sure you show out. Cottrell as well. We need a little bit more from your son. It was a tough
I don't know
day.
if you heard Daisy Thomas say, remember Brucey Dool used to be the flying doormat? Yeah. With that headband, Camden McIntosh looks like the flying doorknob with his bald head.
That's good.
The flying doorknob. Oh, geez, that was just a strange game to be at. It was so good. Seeing a team come back from 41 points and then win, it was just unbelievable. Geez, the Carlton supporters were dirty. Yeah, they were dirty. We waited all preseason for that shit.
It's garbage. We want to apologise. We've had a bit of technical work just with all the odds, all the best bets. So we apologise. We only have a couple of the main big ones from the games that we will touch on when the games get around. But on Gold Rush on the pod this week, we'll have all the best bets. So we apologise that we don't have them all here with us. Just want to finish with a positive though, Jeb. I thought De Koning Nankervis was a pretty good matchup. Nankervis kicked the 2 goals, but De Koning, 28 touches is a lot for a ruckman, a lot to like. Paddy Cripps, I still thought battled on. I thought he was one of the only ones that actually looked clean for us. I'd love to know in the comments. I thought, he's one of the only ones that looked clean. I can't stand the fact that he's our Rolls Royce and we're playing him in the ruck.
Oh.
Play like, I know that Silvani's just coming back for injury, but play him or play Kemp. Like, he's won 2 Brownlows, one of the best clearance players in the AFL, burst away players, at a time when we need first hand on ball. I don't know why we're not playing him there. I thought Walsh, Hewitt, Chera went quiet in certain patches. I will give Walsh a mulligan just because of the preseason. I thought Silvani had a crack and went forward for a little bit. Wiedering was good in the first half. But is this in a world, Jev, that everyone thinks that it's so easy to get 3 Brownlow votes? Does Cripps, is he a chance to get 3? I haven't watched it on TV. I just know how polarizing he is when you watch him on TV, and the umpires are right there in a clearance and know how big he is. Is there a chance that he gets 3 votes? Because I copped it at work when I walked in on Friday. Absolutely copped it. Your week is piss. Your mob's week is piss. And I just threw out there, I'm like, he's probably going to get 3 votes. Like, not a chance. I'm like, it's probably a chance. I actually don't know if he will. But let us know in the comments. Probably a hard game to do votes, but you have to give us some Tigers. Again, apology for no odds, but shit starts the season. Tigers, I'll be watching you all year now.
Yeah, I mean,
and I knew the whole of Australia were barracking for you.
Jeez, is it hailing at your house? I can barely hear. My house just fucking started hailing. All right, next game. Hawthorn Essendon. The Hawks get it done by 26 points. They are on fire. They are the premiership favourites. The one thing I want to say about Hawthorn, I know I've copped it, pillar to post. Whether I've been wrong, I've been right on them. It looks like I'm leaning wrong, and they're just good. They can score in every way possible, the Hawks. They kick goals from clearance. They kick goals if they turn you over in their backline. They take it end to end. They slingshot. They can contested mark you for a goal. If they are slow and they dump it in, they'll kick crumb goals. They just kick goals. And now that they've got Battle and Barras, they're 5 goals better on defense and they're kicking more goals. They are really, really good. I thought Essendon fucking had a crack and dominated stretches of that game, and we're just cracking in and getting inside 50s, and they were just sort of missing their chances. They were playing well. Caldwell was playing well. Merritt was playing well. And then little mistakes, bang, gets in Sicily's hand, other end. Dillmore's running into an open goal. Ginnivan's running into an open goal. The Wizards kicking goals, and they just kick heartbreaker after heartbreaker all night when you're playing well. So they are on fire. They are good. Das, your thoughts on Hawks Essendon?
Hawks are an absolute top 4 lock. It's a lock, Jev. Lock it in. They've shown me exactly what you need. You need 2 big key posts down back, which work. Hard-running midfield that allow you to come through, and a dynamic forward line. They broke the Bombers in 15 minutes in the first quarter. It was 6 goals, 1 to 1 goal for a quarter time, and then it was game over from there. I don't care what anyone says. They just had a buffer that was too big for Essendon to break that, especially with their talent list. Like, they still had some good players. You said Caldwell play really good, but is it time to talk about it? Let's just... He's the best small forward in the comp. He's the most polarizing player to watch in the AFL. When you're watching him, you either love him and you want to see what he does, or you're going to watch like for his downfall, whether you think he's going to have a bad game. So still, like I said, not unbelievable numbers, not Dillmore sort of numbers, but 3 goals, 12 touches, 2 goal assists. There's going to be 2 or 3 games this year, 2 or 3, where it clicks. He's going to have 5 or 6 goals. He's going to take the hangers. He's going to go into the middle, have 2 or 3 clearances. He's going to have a run from the back line like an Aussie Johnson. And just, sorry, not Aussie Johnson. He played for Parkdale. Fucking big Aussie Jones, or a Boomer Harvey, where he's going to run the length of the field, get 1s, 2s, breakaway speed. He's just, we spoke about it on the train the way the footy's Jeb. Just what a mascot he is for the young kids. Any size you can be, just be yourself, the talent. And, he's just unbelievable. I just root for him. Absolutely root for him. I thought the goal that he got on the goal square wasn't there, but even as he said, he's like, that's probably payback from the high kick that I got, the high free kick that I missed out. I think the umpires are umpiring a bit differently. Definitely some aren't there, but some should be. Dylan Jev. We said, I think there's 3 or 4 players over the last couple of years that have averaged 20 and 1. Like Horn Francis was last year. Dusty was usually there. Who's the other one I can't think of? Fuck, I was thinking about it today. Someone else. And then Dylan Jev. He had 21 and 3. The amount of times that he does it, and he kicked two of the opening goals against the Swans last week when they needed the goals against the Bombers. He came through clutch. Ginnivan still didn't have a massive game, but that's their role when they can all get up the ground and get close to 20 and then come back to goals and almost kick 1 or 2. Will Day was a little bit quiet, but that's what makes a good team. Like Finn McGuinness was able to hit the scoreboard and have 15. And I'll let you touch on, Jev, but John Newcomb, not like a 40-touch game, but his breakaway speed, his toughness, his contest ability, like just to win the ball and get it out to his other teammates. But yeah, I can't really bash the Bombers, Jev. They actually did have a crack. They played much better than the Blues. They just got outdone by a better side and they got jumped at the start.
If you're a Bombers fan, are you a little disappointed in Nate Caddy's first show out? I was so excited to watch him play. And do you reckon it's like he's fit, he's done a full preseason, he's going to be a gun? Was it he just had Battle and Barras to deal with for the night and Frost and Sicily and he just couldn't get going? Or, I was just like, I just wanted to see him explode. And I think he will this year. I was super impressed with Isaac Kako. He looks like the one, doesn't he? He looks like he's going to be one of those guys. Just every time he was near it, he was moving. But the one about the Bombers, how often they were fucking slipping over. Oh my God, I was losing it as a non-Bomber supporter on TV. They just kept slipping over. It was doing my head. I'm sure it was doing Bombers fans' heads in. If you're at the game, I'm sure it was doing your heads in. Let us know. But how frustrating was it watching him slip over? Kako was trying to go a million miles an hour, and then he'd just slip over. Fuck, it was frustrating.
Elijah Sardis played like Elijah Saladas. Not the best. He had the pink boots on. He played a little bit better, the boy. Dylan Shield, you said, Jev, how many of the Bombers players look the same? Caldwell, him, they move all the same in the middle. Ben Mackay's a myth. I just want to say that there. When you're getting paid, I'm going to put this on the mic so you can hear this. I'm tapping the mic. When you want to get paid like the big boys in the comp, when you want to eat at the table with Battle, Barras, Wiedering, Taylor, Buckley, McGovern, all these guys, and you want to take the biggest contract, come across to one of the biggest clubs, and you absolutely play like a shadow. You're literally just out there. The only way you're moving around is when you get the shadow from the light. He was non-impactful. I think he had 1 or 2 marks towards the end. And then, Jev, we have to talk about, I know Ridley's done a lot of quad damage, but he just gets another concussion. He just looks injury prone. The sniper, Langford, he's now called Twangford. That hammy, Jev, that's a couple of weeks. It's just, it's heartbreak.
Jack Scrimshaw getting 3 weeks. Your thoughts on it?
I thought it was a bit like coming in football, like the interpretation of if you make a play on the ball, but you make head contact, then whatever the injury is, that's what the outcome, like the punishment. I didn't think it was bit reckless, but I didn't think it's definitely not intentful. I don't know. I just think it's all a bit fucked.
We watched SmackDown growing up as kids. We were SmackDown fans. And when JBL used to give the clothesline from hell, Jack Scrimshaw gave Jordan Ridley a clothesline from hell. He didn't touch any footy at all. He just hit chin with his bicep. Ridley went off with the concussion. I wouldn't have said 3 weeks, but it was definitely 1 or 2. Like, he just chinned him, basically. Knocked him out. He went off with a concussion. I don't know why. Hawk supporters can't. They can whinge about the 3 weeks. They can't whinge that he shouldn't have got 1 or 2. He's crunched him. But, I was impressed with what I saw from the Bombers. I don't know if I'm the only one because I'm not a diehard Bombers supporter. But as you said, Sardis, Caldwell, like we all know who Merritt is, Shield, sometimes Nick Martin, and Sam Durham are all just brunette. They all built the same. They all look the same. They got the same haircut. Sometimes I don't know which one of them's got the ball. Like I'm hearing Caldwell had 36. I thought that was Merritt half the night. Or Sardis. Actually, I knew Sardis wasn't getting the pill. You got to know their boots. I just reckon they all look the same out there, but that might just be me being a spud. I don't know. Maybe I was just tired.
So the line was 21. They end up getting done by 26, so the Hawks would have obviously got over with that line. Now, I've got a massive gripe to pick with the Bombers. I think there's only a few set plays that you can come up with, Jev. In the middle, when it's 4-on-4, the ruckman and 3 midfielders, from a kick out, and then an inside forward 50 stoppage. Correct me if I'm wrong, Jev, or Bombers supporters that are listening to this, or anyone that watches Bombers games. The amount of time Sam Draper will just pull it out of the ruck and have a horrendous shot at goal does my fucking rock in. Like, you've got your midfielders, you can create space, have a lane coming through, and a bit of ruck craft and a block on to someone like a Merritt that's really good with the ball. Caldwell was on fire. Nick Martin's super clean. Isaac Kako was running through, like looking super dangerous. And the amount of times when it's so hard to get a good shot on goal or just an entry and then just to blaze away and give the ball back, it does my head in. It honestly
Watching
does.
him
I think
grab
they
it
do
out of the ruck. It was so frustrating, wasn't it? Bombers fans see it as well. It's a forward 50 stoppage. Like, this is when you're on fire. And he's just grabbing it and throwing it on his boot. It is so frustrating. The big idiot, Sam Draper.
Well, so next week, Jeff, who do the Bombers have next week?
I can't remember. Just one other one. John Newcomb and Will Day are absolutely passing the eye test without passing the stat test right now.
Yep.
So Newcomb's had 25. He looked like he absolutely dominated that game.
37.
So did I, for 25. And then Will Day had 1 goal, 1 and 16. And you could tell he was a bit quieter, but he still just had his moments, made shit happen. There was a couple of he brought to ground in the forward line that turned to goals, and everyone was like, Will Day again. So they are absolutely passing the eye test right now, those two, when the stats aren't necessarily following with it. They're just a well-rounded team. And Sicily, the game's just played on James Sicily time at the moment. It is just on his time. He just reads it. He marks it. He takes on any kick in the game. He doesn't get caught holding the ball or anything. He's just on the peak of his powers right now. He's on fire, James Sicily.
So there's a few guys, Jev, before we move on to the next game, that a game is set up to win a Brownlow. Like Zach Butters and Horn Francis, they play like that real dominating sort of look. Caleb Sarong seems to for Fremantle, but like if you look at Cripps, dominates for the Blues. Absolutely. Nick Dacos, they've got a heap of role players around him, and he's like the quarterback. He can run wherever he wants. The game is set up in a team of stars that Will Day can win a Brownlow. Yep. He gets such good looks in the midfield. He's classy when he breaks away, and now his ability to go forward. Any goal for a big key midfielder is just like an exclamation mark on your game.
Yeah.
Like that's all it is, because most of the time it's just, now can you impact on the scoreboard? So if you look at Will Day, it's like, 25 touches. He played really well. 2 exclamation marks, 2 goals. Like, oh my God. Like, that's exactly what they are. If a midfielder can then go forward and hit the score, Heaney, a few of his games last year, if he had like 26, it's like, it was all right. Oh no, but he kicked 2 goals over Goulden. It's like, no, they're your exclamation marks. So if you can then go forward, the game's set up for him to win a Brownlow, Jev. But Hawks were awesome. Bombers, I'd be very happy if I was you. I thought they put in a good fight. But Jev, the next game, this is one of the ass kickings that I don't think anyone was seeing. They said it was too hot. They said they travelled early. They're ready to go. They've been training in the heat. 147-69, dinner for 2. Jev, this is embarrassing. 78 points. When you watch this, what were your first thoughts?
That Freo travel like Guinness. The further away from home they get, the worse they get.
That's good.
They were shit house. They were absolutely horrible. The Cats are the Cats. How good are Geelong? They just get it right. They just get preseason right. They just got it right. They kept Jeremy Cameron quiet. He ended up with 4. I think he kicked 3 in the last 10 minutes or something, or he kicked 2 in the last 5 minutes. Like, he was good. He wasn't great. I don't know. I'm not going to go too hard on Freo yet. 1, because they play the Swans next week. And 2, it was round 1. They had to go to Geelong. It's never easy to win there. But there were some signs that they were seriously disappointing. A miss and Treacy couldn't get anywhere near it. Brennan Cox again, he's just average. No, I'm not going to say it yet. But there's some overrated midfielders in that side.
Give us a hint.
Oh, Caleb Sarong.
Oh.
No, I'm not gonna go there yet. But they were making Bailey Smith look like Ablett Jr. Bailey Smith's not that good. He's good, and he hasn't played in 19 months, so he'd be fit. He would have put so much work in. He would have kicked the ball a million times without playing games. He would have been hanging to play a game, and he was on fire. So he was great. He's not Ablett Jr. good, but he's good. But they made him look like Ablett Jr. Just Cats being the Cats. Just Grime Myers, Brad Close, Shannon Neal got going, Jez Cameron, Bailey Smith, role players doing their thing. Sam DeConing was awesome. They were just great, as usual. They were defending. They were just slingshotting. What's his name? Max Holmes, Lawson Humphries, all these guys. They were just kicking goals with ease. They absolutely bullied. The funny thing about this game, you can talk about it, but I'll set it up. So I watched the whole game. And then in the third quarter, right before halftime, my missus is like, I was in the third quarter. My missus is like, can I just get a lift? She was going out for the night. Can I get a lift to my friend's house? So I give her a lift to her friend's house and come back. I missed 10 minutes of game time. I missed all 4 of Murphy Reed's snags. You go from here, Dust. You talk about the game.
Yeah, Murphy Reed, he had about 3 or 4 kicks earlier that just came off the side of his boot or the ball just wasn't connecting. So then he went through. So Joey Montagna was the play-by-play caller. For anyone that doesn't know, he does a bit of work for Fremantle, like a bit of like recruiting stuff. It's well, no, I don't think it's a secret. So he actually knows who Murphy Reed is. And he sold candy to Grind Myers, went through 4, then kicked another set shot, and then kicked another 2. If it wasn't for the 4 goals in 10 minutes from this young kid in his first game, Fremantle would be like, it'd be close to 100 points. It was so exciting. Like, if I've seen people kick 4 goals over a game and it's good. Like, I think it was 4 goals in 6 minutes.
Yeah,
it was like incredible.
30 game time.
It was absolutely incredible. So that was 100% Freo's highlight. They said he's the best Reed in WA already. He's already the best one. So Harley Reid's looking too big. So Murphy Reed. But Jev, wheelchairs for Shannon, wheelchairs for Neil. Jev, you know how he's feeling this morning? He's going to wake up with a sore cock and loose shoulders. So he gave away 1 wheelchair last night. Oh, my God. So I had him for a bucket load of goals. The amount of times that Alex Pearce just massaged him under the footy, just with a bit of footy craft and nous. He just underneath it. He would wake up this morning, Jev. The traps, middle lower traps, the rhomboids, they're all feeling good for Shannon, and his cock's in a splint. Apparently, he went absolutely to town with the wheelchair. So we've got some odds on him coming up on the show on Gold Rush. But Jez Cameron, as you said, 4 and 15. Just gets it done. Played up the ground. Ollie Henry does my head. He's one that doesn't look like a cat.
Yeah, he just kicks snags.
Doesn't look like a cat.
He just gets it done. Stengel gets it done. Every time he played GMHBA, back Stengel for 2. He kicked 3. Danger played just as a forward. He looked good, didn't he? He looked real good. So he's a fucking footballer.
So comments. I want you guys to make a list and we'll discuss it either on the pod or next week on the Sunday Rose. Give us your top 5 scariest current players one-on-one that you want to see in the cube with you.
Yeah.
Just
look at their stats. Look at their stats. Jez Cameron, 4 and 15. Ollie Henry, 3. Stengel, 3. Danger, 2 goals, 2 and 12. Ollie Dempsey, 2. Max Holmes, 2. Bailey Smith, 1 and 30. Grime Myers, 1. Shannon Neal, 1. Brad Close, 1. Jack Bowes, 1. Sam DeConning, 1. Tom Atkins, 1. They kicked 70 points in the first half and then 70 points in the second half. Freo kicked 69 points for the game. They beat him in both halves of footy. They were just awesome. They were absolutely awesome.
Swiss cheese. So
they kicked 12. They kicked 12 goals, 4 in the first half, and then 11 goals, 5 in the second half. Freo kicked 10 goals, 9 for the game. That's how good they're going.
I cannot wait to watch this game next week, Jev, because there's going to be a lot of scrutiny for whoever loses. Only because, yes, you've lost 2 like semi-close games, but Fremantle got dog walked. And then if they get dog walked again, it's going to be scary. So can't wait for that one. Again, we apologize for no odds, but we will get them on the Gold Rush. Now, Jev, let's get into it. You have lost the last 3 games that you've played in. The grand final against the Hawks and then again in the grand final rematch. I believe you've lost your last 3 against Brisbane, which was the one at the SCG where Calamachi kicked the winner. Obviously, the grand final, the pants pulled down. Then you come into this game. Obviously, no Joe Danaher, that's fine. Then Lincoln McCarthy does his leg like 3 days before the game. Then you got Kai Lohman that does his ankle, I think, in the first 5 minutes. Right. And then it just looks like that you guys come out.
Cameron calf.
So Charlie Cameron goes out late. And it just looks like that you jump him. I think you kick 5 of the first 6 goals. You've got Corey Warner playing like Chad Warner. And it just looks like, you know what? Braden Campbell's kicking goals. And it's like, you know what? The Swans are on today. Brisbane look underdone. Maybe they're just going to cop it. A few of the people up there where they're living in Brisbane, maybe their house is a bit fucked at the moment. There's a bit going on. And maybe they just take a loss here. They just take it, come back to Brisbane, they reset. But then they fucking dug in. I think they thought they were doing a working bee. And Fagan gave everyone a shovel and said, let's go to work, boys. They dug in. It was so impressive watching in that third quarter, them claw back. It was Dunkley played awesome. Dane Zorko, say what you want about him, like a fine wine. Went to go play midfield. I think he's won 6 or 7 best and fairest. And then Coleman does his ACL. He goes back to halfback last year, where he was an All-Australian halfback. His ability to then go forward whenever he wants. He had 2 and 24. He was insane. Thought Isaac Heaney was going to win the game. But initially, Jeb, I want to know your first honest thoughts on the game and where you see the Swans.
They're the psychologically damaged Swans, Darth. They don't know how to win anymore. Last year, we didn't know how to lose. I watched this all year. We just refused to lose any game. We just used to win, get it done. They don't know how to win anymore. They're shocked. They're cooked. Psychologically, they're just ruined. I don't know how we lost that game on Saturday. I thought we were just better all day. We were just a bit fumbly and not clean and all this shit. And then Zach Bailey was just, every time he had a look, he just put him through the big 6. He was so classy. He kicked 4. He was so smooth and just classy finish. But once again, I never thought I'd say I missed McLean, Amati, and McDonald, but I miss McLean, Amati, and McDonald.
Oh, no.
When we had it, I don't think we can win a flag with the 3, but when we had them last year with the highest scoring team in the league, now we can't kick enough goals to win a game. I don't know. I just don't know how we lost. Fucking Brodie Grundy spends more time on his knees than Bonnie Blue and Lily Phillips combined. You're the ruckman, brother. Just stand up and have some domination. If you watch this game, they said in the coverage, Ollie Florent was 5th in turnovers last year. And I was like, it just clicked to me. I'm like, oh, yeah. I don't reckon he hit another target for the rest of the game. I watched him kick after that. I'm like, this bloke can't kick. What has happened? He cannot kick the football. You're going to watch Ollie Florent from now on and go, get it out of his hands. He cannot kick. Nick Blakey was awesome. Chad was quiet. Then he was awesome. He kicked his 2. He had his 20 touches. He tried to win in the game. Heaney was awesome. He was holding on all game. Then he went forward and kicked 2 final quarter goals. You say all this and we just still lost. Corey Warner was great. Went missing a bit. McInerney was good. Braden Campbell was good. They don't know how to win anymore. They're just so psychologically cooked. And it's like, I don't think Heaney and Warner are cooked. They're not mentally, but the role players now that we lauded last year, your Rowbottoms, your Florence, your Hayward, he just fumbles the game every week. And it's just so frustrating to watch because you're like, I know you're better than this, boys, but maybe just going to 2 grand finals and getting your pants pulled down is finally catching up in some of these blokes' heads, and they're scared of the moment a bit now. When you need someone to stand up and win the game in the 4th quarter, guys run from the footy a bit now. They're like, nah. Chad and Isaac don't, and Errol wouldn't if he was out there. I can't wait to get Cal Mills back, but some of them just don't want to be there. And fuck, it was frustrating to us. It was so frustrating. I'm like, we're playing so much better here, and we just couldn't kick a goal to win the game. And then for the 2nd week in a row, we're playing well. We're clawing back. We get it to a 1-score game. And then Matt Roberts kicked it straight to Josh Dunkley, who just went back and slotted it. Happened exact same thing in the Hawthorn game last week when we were 8 points down and Ollie Florent kicked it straight to Connor McDonald, and then Matt Roberts kicked it straight to Josh Dunkley. Unforgivable. Sorry, it was just so frustrating being a Swan supporter. Oh, I just couldn't believe we lost. I thought we were better basically all day. Lockie Neal was the top of my pyramid. He was the number 1 player in the comp. I thought, I'm so big on if you're the best player on the best team, you have the final series he had, you had the last 10 weeks he had, you have 35 grand final day, you're standing there on the platform with the cup in your hand. I'm like, he deserves to start.
What did he do?
Six touches in the 1st quarter, 0 possessions in the 2nd quarter, 0 possessions in the 3rd quarter, 4 touches in the last. He had 10 touches. He was out there doing cardio for 2 quarters. Should have seen him just running up and down like he was allergic to the footy. It was so weird to watch. So I just couldn't have got this game more wrong. You go for a bit. I need a breather.
A few players that don't look like Swans. Riley Bice. Is that how you say his name? Riley Bick. How do you pronounce it?
It's bias.
Right, Riley Bias. Never heard of him.
He came on as the sub.
Wait, another player
touches in a quarter.
that's not a Swan. Ben Patton.
Nah, he sucks.
If you go on the points bet app and you go to bet on him, he's still got his St Kilda colours. Like he's got his St Kilda badge. You are not a Swan. Hamling, I forgot that he played for the Swans, but
He was all right.
Jev, seen a few lookalikes in my time. Matty Roberts looks like Morgs.
Yeah.
There's a few. Levi Ashcroft looks like Syndrome from The Incredibles. You remember the bad guy Syndrome? Yeah. But we will call him Up Syndrome because that's how good he is. He looked like he played 50-plus games, Jev.
25 touches on debut, 12 in the last.
Yeah, and he could have hit the post. I want to give Zach Bailey a bit of love. Again, I would love to have these odds for you guys. I really apologise. But 4 and 17. Darcy Ford, actually, this is an interesting one. Very interesting one. I love that they played the two ruckmen. Fort and McInerney.
They both beat Brodie Grundy.
Oh, Jev, it was like a 2-on-1 scene. It was like a 2-on-1. We've got Jordi El Nino and Johnny Sins. Jev, the two big heavy hitters. They just went nuts because Oscar McInerney can kick goals. Yeah. I don't think if anyone remembers, Brisbane went out to Port Adelaide last year and McInerney turned Jordan Sweet into Jordan Sauer. I think he kicked 4 goals and absolutely gave him a bubble bath squeaky clean. So 4 points, Jev. It's disappointing. We've got a lot to get through.
Say it out loud, Das.
All right.
No Charlie Cameron. Kai Lohman doesn't even last a quarter. Lockie Neal has 10 touches. It's at the SCG and Chad and Isaac kick 2 each. And we still lose. I just think we're absolutely cooked upstairs.
Yep.
Just cooked. And until I see us win and sing the song, I can't see it different.
Well, let me give you this quickly as well before we move on. Lockie Neal had 10. Logan Morris only had 5 touches. Hipwood only had 5 touches, 1 goal. Harris Andrews only had 7 touches. Payne only had 8.
It's the exact same as the Hawthorn game. We beat all these guys. We played well enough and we just give teams the game.
Cam Rayner didn't kick a goal.
Yep.
Zach Bailey just broke you.
Zach Bailey, we kept Ashcroft to 20 when he had 36 in a goal grand final day. Yeah, it was just Dunkley and Berry again. Zorko just popped up to win the game in the second half. They just got their moments right. Oh, all right. We're just so psychologically damaged.
You guys are done.
We're done.
Next game, Jeb. So we got the Bulldogs and North Melbourne. I think pretty disappointing start. I don't think North is how they want to start the season. They finished off well.
Win this game.
But 5 goals, 3 to 1 goal, 4 in the first quarter. Again, you cannot start slow. So that's exactly what they did. I'll let you start. You said potentially 4 A graders. Sherry, I think the highest rated player on the ground. I know that's what they do with Ruckman, so let's take that with a grain of salt. Sheasel played really well, 31. You also had Luke Davies Jr. and Colby McKercher. But the rest of the team is just, I'm not too sure about, especially their back line. Now, my biggest thing is the Hawks pick up Battle and Barrass. If you take any team, imagine North Melbourne picked up Battle and Barrass. Because I guarantee they've got some cap space. Nick Larkey, I believe we can agree, is an absolute superstar. Give him the ball. He's such a good set shot. I think he's only going to get better as the year goes on because Jack Darling's going to be there as a bodyguard. But then, for the Dogs, Libba got it done. Bailey Dale got it done. Ed Richards is a star, 30-1. There's not much to really talk about this. I'm just shattered Matt Kennedy is away from the Blues. He's exactly who we needed. Yep. He played awesome. I don't think there's not too many people I actually want to roast in this game. I had it on. It was the much better Saturday night game. Sam Darcy, I thought was going to kick 15.
So did I.
And then this is the only thing that's going to piss us off, Jeb, in your 50 goal bet.
Yep.
He's too versatile. And they might put him in the ruck or the back line too much. They need the other stars back so they can play him permanent forward. They don't have the luxury at the moment. But what were your thoughts on the game? I think it was good. It was entertaining. But, they really dogged it in the first quarter.
Yeah,
North.
You can definitely see North aren't just going to lay down and die in games anymore. They just don't have the defensive cattle to stop teams. So, they were kicking goals and they were playing well and they were getting centre clearances and Larkey was on fire, but they just couldn't stop the Dogs from kicking goals. So North have kicked 100 points. The Dogs kicked 113. What'd they kick? How many goals did they kick? 17 goals, 11. When are North going to turn that into a 12-goal game for the Dogs? They just can't stop teams kicking goals. They were giving up some of the easiest and softest goals ever. It would have been so frustrating to watch. but that's been North forever. And Griffin Logue went out injured. It just you can see the clear improvement with McKercher and Sheasel and Larkey and LDU and Finn O'Sullivan's going to be a star and Luke Parker played a bit of a role. You can see the improvement. Paul Curtis was awesome in the fourth quarter. You can see it all. They just can't stop other teams kicking goals. And it's just like, until you can defend, you just can't win. And can they defend yet? We'll see. They need a battle in Barras so bad.
I'm not sure if anyone saw this, but I think it was a graph. Is it time to stop giving North Melbourne excuses? The average age of this Bulldogs side and North side, Bulldogs were younger, less games played, Bulldogs were younger. Experience. There was a few other things. It's just like, well, like number one first round draft picks compared to not. Like it was a heap of things that lean the other way. As you said, really well coached. They just got it done. Nothing really to report from this game. The Dogs could win.
We're just going to talk about the incident just quickly because your first reaction today when you saw Jackson Archer got 3 weeks was,
holy shit! I hope he's all right. Like
when you saw Jackson Archer get 3 weeks today.
I was like, what the fuck? I couldn't believe it. Like I actually couldn't believe it. I thought when you're running in, and obviously they get told to like if he didn't smash his head, Jackson Archer probably would have got a free kick because you can't chop the legs. Like you're not allowed to. You're not allowed to dive on the footy because you get your legs taken out and that's how you break your ankles and that's why the rule comes in. I think when you slow it down, yeah, of course it looks bad, but when you're running in and the last minute he goes to go pick up the footy and then he gets his knee decapitated and your head happens to hit it, I just thought it was holy shit, what a bad incident. Hope the kid's all right. I had no idea that there was going to be a suspension out of that. I know you think differently. But the games go so fast, and I think when you slow it down, I understand where you can scrutinise, but the match review panel, you need to fucking sharpen up. I don't know what else you want him to do because if he doesn't hit his head, it's a free kick to Archer because you take out his legs. But because he hit his head, he gets 3 weeks. So I just think in real time, he got injured. It's a football incident. I don't know how you outcoach that because if you do it the other way, you get a free kick. So yeah, I'm completely confused. I couldn't believe he got weeks. Like, why can't we just be like, holy shit, hope he's all right. Good luck. That's not a suspension. Fuck. I'll argue with anyone.
He's lucky to not get 6 weeks. I think it's one of the worst things I've ever seen on a football field. He came in a million miles an hour and just didn't put his head over the ball and just kneed the kid in the head. He nearly killed him. He dead set nearly killed Luke Cleary. I watched it like 5 times. I'm like, he sprints in like he's going to put his head over the ball like his old man would have and attack the ball. And he just stands up straight and just knees him straight in the head. Knees the bloke with his head over the ball. Like Luke Cleary did the right thing. He didn't dive on it. He was going to pick it up. Jackson Arthur just ran, didn't do anything but knee him clear in the head. It was one of the worst things I've ever seen. I think he's so lucky to get 3 and not 6. And he's lucky Luke Cleary's still alive. Like, he nearly fucking killed him. When Bevo was running down from the coach box crying.
He was
sweating. I was like, I don't blame him for being like that. That was absolutely horrible. And so it's funny how we disagree on it. How you think Jackson Archer nearly should have got a free kick. I think he nearly killed Luke Cleary and it was one of the worst things I've ever seen on the field.
No, I don't think he gets a free kick. I think if he doesn't hurt his head, that's the action where they try and where you get a free kick from. But I think it's just like, fuck. I don't know how you outcoach that. You want him to stop or
put your head over the ball. Tell him to put his head over the ball.
When you're so close to that and he's already gone in early. Oh.
He just ran standing up straight while Luke Cleary had his head over the ball. He didn't try and tackle. He just kneed him in the head.
I reckon when you're sprinting at full pace, I reckon it's tough.
But what was he sprinting at full pace to do then?
Run through because the ball was in the air. Then the last minute he goes down to go pick it up. I think it's a footy injury. I don't think everything has to be suspension with a head knock. I don't think he ran it. It's like a Toby Green where you run up and you try and kick someone. He's running. And that's just where his leg was. I reckon it's stiff.
This would be a good one in the comments. Who do you agree with, me or Das? Of you think he's stiff, he shouldn't have got any weeks, just a footy incident, or you're more like me and you think he nearly died, Luke Cleary, and Jackson Archer should have put his head over the ball. That'll be a good one because, yeah, I was not surprised at all he got 3 weeks. Do you remember the commentary at all? Derm straight away is like, Jackson Archer just snapped his knee. Oh, Jackson Archer's down. And Luke Cleary is lying there lifeless. And then Derm saw it. He's like, oh, boy, this is not good on the young dog. And he was talking about Jackson Archer. I'm like, don't worry about Jackson Archer's knee, brother. Worry about Luke Cleary's head. He's basically dead.
Don't worry about the son of a shinbone. All right, next one, Jev. Let's talk about what is one of the worst performances of the year already. No Zach Butters, no back line, no forward line. You trade the farm to go get what was pick 2 in Jack Lukosius. You draft a shit berry, not a blueberry, not a raspberry, a Joe Berry. Jeff, he had his whole family there. He missed one. He got done holding the ball halftime, scratching his head. Oh, it's no good. Sam Pepper out there looking like salt and pepper. You've got a few players out there, Jeff. Miles Bergman wouldn't know how to tie up his goddamn shoelaces if he fell over a pair of sneakers. All right? There is a lot of players in this side that look extremely shaky. Travis Boak, 28-1. Give yourself a pat on the back, son. Jordan Sweet. God, he played like Jordan Sauer, Jev, I reckon. Braden Maynard's coming up forward and kicking goals, Jev. When you've got Membry and McStay kicking goals, you're in trouble. Ken, the succession plan is not going to work. I don't want this to even sound tacky, but he won't last the season. This will not last the season, Jev. They rolled over. There's only a few times I've seen teams roll over. This was a rollover in round 1. They did not want to be there. They didn't want to play at the G. Usually when you're an interstate side and you get to play at the G, you get yourself up. It's awesome to play inside the Coliseum in front of a big crowd. They were disgusting. They were so bad. And also, I've got another take, but I'm not allowed to say it. I forgot. Anyway, Jev, what do you reckon? Georgiades cracks the shit. Evans was terrible. Lockie Jones got subbed out with bad form. 4 touches.
He was
Port Adelaide fans, this was, I'm telling you, a lock of the year. Under 14.5 wins. It was my best bet ever of my life. Go.
No, let's get around the Pies. They got rubbed through the dirt. It's funny. We knew this result was coming. This is the annual ass kick Port get from the Pies. Yep. They come to the G, they get their ass kicked, they go home. But I still had to see it because I was worried before the game. I'm like, Pies, 6-day break. They played on Sunday in the heat. Now they're playing Saturday in 36-degree heat. I'm like, I was worried from the old Pies that they weren't going to be able to run. They were fantastic. Port were pitiful. They were woeful. How bad were they? They made Membry, McStay and Myercheck look like Plugger, Dunstall and Ablett Sr. They were doing whatever they wanted. Jamie Elliott was good. Bobby Hill wasn't that great, got into the game. Everyone was kicking goals. We went to the footy today with a diehard Pie supporter. He is filthy at the lack of love or the lack of standing up for Nick Dacos the Pies are giving. They're just letting him get beaten up and no one's coming over and giving him a block, chopping him out. Isn't that why they bought Perryman in to be his bodyguard? And if Willem Drew's on Nick Dacos, go over and belt the shit out of Drew for the day. Give Dacos a chance. Where's Still Sidebottom for a block? Where's Bruzzy Maynard to come put some physical pressure on? They're just letting Nick Dacos get beaten up. It's hard to watch.
Yeah, it is.
They were playing well. It's like we're winning enough. So like last week it was different where they were getting pumped and Dacos was getting beaten up and he was cramping. At least this week they were winning. It's like, Dacos, can you just handle your own battle here? We'll go beat the shit out of Port and win. But like, went into close game. They've got to start protecting this kid or else he's just going to get beaten up. And like, they do that to Dacos. Then they let Dan Houston just run around like he's still playing for Port Adelaide, like he's still their best mate. He's like, oh, yeah, go dominate the game, Dan. Yeah, do whatever you want out there. We're just going to worry about beating up Nick Dacos while we're still down 90 points. Oh, the coaching was awful. I don't even know who coached the game. Was it Josh Carr up in the box or was it Ken on the ground? I've got no idea. They're the nice guy, Port Adelaide. They're just nice guys. Willem Drew's a bit of a cunt, but apart from that, Finn Lason's just filling a hole back there for Zerk Thatcher or whatever. Like, I'll try defence. Lockie Jones will just jump under a ball. Oh, that's all right. They can kick another goal. They're really nice. Like, they're just nice guys. I'm sure they'll be okay. Connor Rose is a super nice guy. They're just the nice guy, Port Adelaide Power. They can. You could date my daughter. Connor Rose, you could date my daughter. He's such a nice guy. Like, yeah, they're just nice guys. They're really cool guys.
Miles Bergman, make a nice toast. He's a nice guy. Tackles 69-43. Pies got their pants pulled down in that against the Giants last week. So they obviously had that. Marks inside 50. They had 17 marks inside 50, which is huge. Contested marks, 11-2. Like, Membry was just able to get up and get that jump ball however he wants. They were absolutely disgraceful. So they've got the Tigers next week. Here we go. This is fun. Tigers come to town. They won in Adelaide last year. They beat the Crows.
Yeah.
Jev, they're paying $670 at the moment. I'm going to take them plus the points. This is going to be good. I'm going to take the Tigers because I'm telling you right now, no one's going to man up on Tom Lynch. With Taranto running in the midfield, you know he's going to grind out a game. Their back line is so much better. Nick Vlossing can hold up. Ben Miller can hold up better.
Broad.
Who are they looking after? They're looking after Georgiades and Lukosius.
Yeah.
Luke Nocius. So, Jeff, that's going to be an absolute cracker.
Jeez.
So I can't wait for that one. But
Dude, they miss Zach Butters, don't they? They miss
do.
Zach Butters. It makes you realise how good Zach Butters really is because they are shit house without him.
He's their igniter. So Pies get it done by 91 points, an absolute ass kicking. Jeff, we've got 3 Sunday games to get through. We'll run through the first one pretty quick and the last one, and then we'll spend a little bit more time on Melbourne Giants just because we're there. But the Crows St Kilda, your best bet on the board, the Wolverine, the Liver King, the man that loves jumping off bungees and jumping out of planes, the thrill seeker, Riley Thilthorpe. Jeff, you said his absolute lock of the week was for him at 2 goals at $2. End up kicking 3. Rochelle looks like he's gone to work a little bit. Yeah. Be it all, it's against the Saints, but 2-2. Jack Higgins, Jev, we can put him down as one of the best professional small forwards. Kicked another 2. We didn't watch a heap of this. You know, it was an absolute lock. We mentioned that. If anyone usually has a homecoming, they're going to kick a goal. Alex Newbullen was 245. I can tell you that right now. He had 1 goal and 21 touches.
How good a footy Jordan Dawson? Actually, how good a footy is Jordan Dawson?
So it's Jordan Dawson and Saligo. Before I let you touch on Jordan Dawson, Jev, Saligo had 29-1. He's meant to have it. Like I said, he's going to explode. He had a really good game. Actually, I'll let you touch more on the Crows. Rankin had 28-2. I only just saw this. But talk about Jack McRae, Jev. This is just him. This is what he does. Put him at Geelong, he'll get 34. Keeman St Kilda get 34. I don't know how impactful he is. I didn't watch the game, but he's just an accumulator. Dane Swan was an accumulator. Tom Mitchell, doesn't matter where he is, he can go get the footy. But it's what you do with it. So he's definitely not the one they get. Nasan Wanganeen Malira, Jeff, he just put on a performance for the home state. He just said, hello.
Who wants to pay me in Adelaide or Port Adelaide because I'm coming home? Who wants it? Das, I could see the work Adelaide have done in the preseason, and it was impressive. As you said, Rankin, Dawson, and Saligo all had high 20s, all kicked goals. Dawson was getting tagged. He still had 2 goals, 27 touches. He is like one of the purest footballers going around. Rankin was good. Saligo was good. They brought in Isaac Cumming, Peatling, and Neil Bullen. Look at them there. 2 goals and 16, 1 goal and 21, 1 goal and 19. They're all king goals. Then the big forwards, Fogarty and Thilthorpe, were awesome as well. I can see what Adelaide have done, and they're just going to, if they can win it on ball, they're going to overwhelm you of just, if they keep getting inside 50s, they will kick goals with guys like Fogarty, Thilthorpe, Rochelle. Ben Keys is still down there. Isaac Rankin gets himself dangerous. If you try and kick it out of their backline and it's not deep enough and it gets in Jordan Dawson's hands from 60 out, it's coming back in and it's probably going through the goals. Neil Bullen and Peatling and Cummings just play roles and they'll keep getting it back in that forward line. Whether you rate their defense or not, they're hiding it now because they've just got more players that can win the ball, set up the ground. I can see what they did in the preseason. I can see why people bought in. You and me were out on them, and it was the first review we did in like early Feb, and now I don't know. I already feel like we're going to be wrong on them. Not necessarily if they're going to make the 8 or whatever. I think they're going to be around 8, 9, but they were good today. The Saints are cheeks. Saints are crap.
It wouldn't be a Saints review unless we got a little bit of Ryan Bell and a little bit of Julie Bell's thoughts. That's what we do. So our mate Ryan and his mum, she's an absolute St Kilda nuffy. So
commenting all the Facebook stuff.
5 minutes into the game, gets a message, Ryan, where's your boy Brad? I don't think Brad had a sniff. And then I think he went off. So only 6 touches. 10 minutes later, she just replies, wooden spoon, full stop. So she's already out on the Saints. The Saints are no good. Apparently they've already been looking at flights to Bali. So don't worry about September. Jev, I looked it up then. You can get flights tomorrow, St Kilda fans, for a week in Bali. Don't worry about going to the footy next week. $355 return with Jetstar if you go tomorrow morning and then you miss next week's game, which is against, I'll check right now, your game next week is against, you're not going to want to go, Geelong. You're not going to want to know.
I know we made jokes about it, Das, but when you went to the draft and you've skipped on Murphy Reed and all this stuff, and you've drafted two sort of key backs or half backs and stuff, it goes like, you're still trotting Zach Jones out there, who had 11 touches as a midfielder today. Like, I just want to know, if I'm a Saints supporter, all I want to see is a young midfielder running around, learning the hard ways, like Murphy Reed did, like Lawler on Thursday night, like all the kids we've seen play this weekend. I don't want to see Zach Jones in my midfield anymore. Like, I know we joke about it, but how can you not draft a midfielder at the Saints? They're screaming out for a midfielder. Screaming out. Like, I don't want Jack McRae and Zach Jones on ball. I want Murphy Reed, and who else went after those two that played this weekend? Luke Traynor out there. I know he played in the back line, but I don't want to see these two. I want to see Harvey Langford. I want to see Josh Smiley, Sam Layla. I know like these guys are drafted, but even just Murphy Reed, I want to see him in the Saints colour running around in the midfield. I don't want to see the starting midfield of Jack Steele, Jack McRae, and Zach Jones. I'm sorry, Das, I don't. I'm sure Saints fans don't want to see it as well. I just don't get it. I don't get it.
Saints fans, you guys are going to... Oh, you're in for the worst. You're a bottom three side. Bottom three side, prepare for a good draft pick this year, unless if Ross has just decides to turn it on and you finish like 9 and whatever, and then you get another fucking 7th pick or 10th pick and you miss out on the top crop.
It better be the best midfielder in the draft by an absolute mile. They take this. They should trade up to one. Get the best midfielder in the draft.
Let's not touch on them anymore, Jeb. Let's get into
3 points.
Let's get into So 3-point win, the GWS Giants. It was so good. Thank you to PointsBet, Jev. We got some nice tickets to the Medallion Club. We brought the Chiseler in. We're giving it a void. We're giving it a void because Binger got injured. He had 8 touches at halftime, about 4 minutes before halftime. So he came off. So we'll give the Chiseler a void. This was awesome. Now, absolute piss week by the Melbourne fans. Like, it's 26,000 on your season opener. I don't want to hear any more how much
Petrarca's return game.
This is what pissed me off. 2021, Jev, they win the flag in WA, and they're like, oh, it's bullshit. We didn't get to see the flag while we all would have gone out. The next year on the Wednesday, it was a grand final rematch against the Bulldogs, and there was like 65,000 for the flag unveiling. They're like, oh, it's a Wednesday night. Just rock up. Rock up. Jev, they don't show out. They must have all been at the GP. Melbourne fans, you are absolute piss weak. That's the whole reason why you guys didn't get over the line today. Max Gawn, Oliver, Viney, Petrarca, Jev, walking into the middle before the game. We're like, this looks awesome. Matt Jefferson kicks the first one in the first minute. Awesome. And then I can't remember who kicked the one after, but they were on fire. Jev, this was an awesome arm wrestle. We just want to say, after watching the Giants last week, how much Finn Callahan really stepped up. Tom Green back in the side. Didn't love that much how when Tom Green was in, and just the fact that Bedford was tagging that Finn had to come out onto the wing, where I think he was their most impactful from stoppage the week before. We almost lost a lot of that because they were playing him out of position a bit. Hopefully, as the form continues, they'll continue to play him in there a little bit more. That final play where he made the touch, it went end to end. Toby Green was fantastic. There's actually not too much I actually want to bang on about Melbourne. I feel that a lot of 8 new kids, or I think there were 6 debutants, but they're a team that I think once they get 8 to 10 games together, they're going to be a really good team. They're going to be hard to beat, Jev. I think once they get May back in the side, but oh God, how the Giants must be feeling good. They must be feeling really good. I had an awesome bet that I'll go over after.
This game was fantastic to be at. It was so good. Just heavyweights. Petrarca was it was unbelievable to see him back. That chase he put on in the middle of the ground in the last quarter, Das, I can't remember who chased down. Petrarca was good. It's good to see Clary back. Wouldn't mind seeing Clary a little bit better than what he was. He still had 27 or something, 26. He was good. Want to see him a little bit better. Max Gawn was back to his best. Lockie Keefe was just tailing him around all day. Bailey Fritsch didn't go near it. Did not go near the ball. There was no Cozzy Pickett out there. He's a bit banged up, but they were good, Melbourne. GWS were just better. They were just better. Toby Green had an all-time performance if you're at the game. He just stands out. He's the fucking man in the arena. He's like, they say like the present Wayne Carey or Buddy Franklin used to have. You just, eyes are drawn to him. We just knew wherever Toby was at all times, he'd make the touch. Watching Finn Callahan in person for 2 weeks in a row is a pleasure. If you can see the watching the local produce, if you can go to a Giants game, get yourself to a Giants game and go watch these blokes play. They are so good. They're still getting Jesse Hogan back. They're still getting Jake Stringer back. Sam Taylor's a dog. You and me, now that Carlton the Swans are cheeks, they are terrible. We're all in on the Giants flag now. I think they are playing in the grand final. Could be against the Hawks, could be against the Cats. I don't know. They are so good. They just get it done. Tom Green had 35 today. Josh Kelly had his moments. Cornelio had his moments. Cal Ward still has his moments. They got some young kids. They're just, they are good, the Giants.
Yeah, I think Melbourne are going to be a lot better than what we thought. So at 3/4 time, I had a look, they were down by 11 points. And I'm like, the Giants are 100% winning this game. Like 100%. So on points bet, if it's a live bet, 355, you got to call up. And I just placed a hefty waiver and I just said, can I get this on the Giants? Because I guarantee they're going to run away with the game. Jev, we spoke about them last year as being just a 3/4 side. They can't run out the last. They got dog walked against the Swans after being up in that first final. And then in the must win against home, they lost the unlosable against Brisbane, where they came back and kicked like 6 goals in the last. You're telling me the first opportunity where they're down at 3/4 time that they're not going to run out the game. It was an absolute lock. It was a lock. And they got it. And yes, they almost should have lost. Timu Max Gorn, what was his name? Number 42 is his first game.
Isn't it?
Aiden Johnson.
Aiden Johnson, yeah.
He doesn't even have a photo on the AFL app. He was having a shot, and I said, I guarantee he'll miss this, and they'll go end to end. Lockie Whitfield brought it up the ground, went through, and Jeff, as you said, Keith, he went to Gorn. He's like, hey, mate, you've missed a couple. Come with me.
Max Gorn's missing him. Lockie Keith goes back and seals it.
Come with me.
Seals it.
Went through and kicked it. Then and then who got the clearance? Got the clearance?
Tobes and
Toby bloody Green put himself in the middle. It was a fantastic win. They will be having a few beers. They've got the bye, but who isn't having beers, Jev? We've got good word. Who is not having beers?
So this is awesome sourcing. Toby Green's off the piss for the entire AFL season. I've got it sourced very well. He's not touching piss until they win the flag this year. And his game and his fitness levels are reflecting on it. His last quarter today, Das, 11 disposals, 1 goal, 1, 2 tackles, 8 kicks, 3 handballs, 1 mark. He was unbelievable. 7 contested possessions. What else? Anything else? His last quarter, and like when it was big moments, he just put himself on the ball. Me, Tom Green, Finn Callahan, let's get it, and they just get it. If I'm a Melbourne supporter, go back and watch. He cost you the game in the last bit. Your winger, what's his name? Langdon. Go back and watch Ed Langdon go to the centre bounce on Toby Green when you had to win the game. What is Ed Langdon doing in the centre bounce when you've got Petrarca, Oliver, Viney, Gorn as you're starting mid? Why did Ed Langdon go to that bounce? Watch him slip over on Toby Green. They get the clearance. They win the game. What's he doing in there? This game was so good to be at. It was just heavyweights. But as we said, Petrarca, Gorn, Oliver was okay. Toby Green was awesome. Tom Green, Finn Callahan. It was so good to be at this game today, Das. What a game.
Well, also,
highly recommend. Sunday footy is just so good.
The Irish dancers for the Jim Steins game, every time they kicked a goal, the members were actually going off. It was awesome. I'm not sure on TV.
Just loving it.
It was so good. All right, let's touch on the last game, Jeb. We got told, so we did our season preview for West Coast.
Yeah.
And I'm leaning under. I just think that they're still not that good. I know Baker, Graham are in, but Oscar Allen, when your captain looks like that, he wants out. I'm telling you right now, Harley Reid is going home. Like, he's not going to stay there for that crap. He looks like he hates his teammates. He looks disinterested. He's 100% coming home. Who said it last year? Take it to the bank. No, who said Dusty's going to Gold Coast? Take it to the bank. Was it the Ox? It was someone, and it never works. But I'm saying it. Take it to the bank. Harley Reid's coming home. Take it to the bank. So, and we were with someone who's very close at West Coast on Thursday night.
Incredibly good sourcing with West Coast.
Like, as good as it gets. Yeah, as good as it gets.
And
From
I
West
go
Coast.
to him, West Coast going to be any good this year? He goes, nah, they're going to be fucking shit. They're no good. I'm like, so Gold Coast is certain is. He goes, that game will look exactly like GWS Collingwood looked last week. And it looked exactly like that. Gold Coast were just fitter, stronger, bigger, faster, cleaner, everything. Absolutely everything. They looked ready to play. What'd they end up winning by in the end?
82, 87.
87 points they've beaten you by in your home opener. Home opener, the Gold Coast Suns. That's imagine how far it is from the Gold Coast of the top northeast of Australia to the bottom left of Australia. And they've just travelled, kicked your ass by 87 points. See you later, boys. Take our 4 points back to Gold Coast. They just beat the shit out of them, Das.
Kick the shit out of him. A Doyle Rowell. So Rowell had 30. Anderson had 36. Miller had 2 goals and 26. So this is the thing that we want to say. Rioli and our man, what's his fucking name?
John Noble. Johnny.
Johnny Noble. Can't believe I forgot his name. John Noble. Instantly on the half-back line. Ready to go. They were instantly better. They moved the ball well. Also, I wanted to fit this in. If Dan Houston had a shocker, I was ready to have a take that are we ready to have the chat that John Noble was a better number 9 than Dan Houston. I was ready to go with it.
But he was already awesome.
Yeah, they both played awesome. Matt Owies was cramping. I'm telling you, I look at this West Coast side, Jeb, and I don't see much ticker. Kelly looks done. Brockman, geez, that looks like a good trade from the Hawks. I want to look whatever they got for him because that looks awesome. You want to go home? Have him. He's at home and he's playing shit house. Jamie Cripps is almost done, Jev. McGovern was still good, but you don't have him for much longer. Duggan came out of the game. Ruben Jinby isn't coming on like the Paddy Cripps that they thought he would. Tom Cole's just still running around, number 28. He suits the number 28 at West Coast. You know, that's just how he plays. Nick Holman's a battler, Jev. He played good. Colin Sexton, our man Bailey Humphrey gave him one over the top. He absolutely dogged a bit. Let's have a look. This is exactly what we needed to see. We need to see the Suns win away from home. They only won 2 games last year. They've got one in the books now. King kicked 6. Ben Long kicked 4. He fucking kicks bags against shit sides. Rogers kicked 3. I can't wait to see what this pays. Ethan Reed. So we're going to talk about this. The unicorn. How much better does he look with the salad?
Oh my God. He's grown his hair out. He's put on about 10 kilos. How's the glow up from Ethan Reed? You and me had no idea who he was. And we had to look up like, who's number 20 for the Suns? Our man, Ethan Reed. He looked like he was playing on Jeremy McGovern, trying to do a bit of a role. He looked great. Great. I was so impressed. I'm all in on the Ethan Reed train. We still get Jed Walter back, but Ben King kicked 6 stars. 6 is a bag. Dan Rioli's kicked 2 and had 20. He's a bloody good footballer, Dan Rioli. 3-time premiership player. And then Rowell and Anderson have punched the shit out of you. Just kicked the shit out of him. Noah Anderson's had 36. He's had 14 contested possessions. He's just dominated you. And how many contested possessions did Rowell have in his 30? 15. They just punched the shit out of. They didn't look like they'd go with him. Jared Witch is a gun ruckman. And Bailey Humphries had 20 touches, didn't kick goal, but getting in amongst it, it's good to see him. He looks great. We are all in on the Suns this year, and they have not disappointed at all round 1. It's going to be a long year for the Eagles. They are cheeks, especially when Harley Reid is fat as a house does. He is tubby. Old garbage guts Reid. Oh, they reckon he's on the Zion diet, apparently. He does not push the plate away. Nah, good work, Dust. Good to be back. Good to be back in the saddle. Like, subscribe, get around us. Cheers.
What are you prepared to lose today? For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.